fire. Corona and retire. Just see the way we do yellow bone. There's nothing that there's nothing that
When Alice Cummings become president, party struggle finish. Government officials will stop stealing our country money. Common people starving, daily leaders having party. We've been praying for better days, but things just getting nasty. CPP coming politicians run for political weapon and funny. We tired of suffering, the hour is down. Alice Cummings spending the money. They say doesn't improve, but the country is rich. Responsible leader with 40 for change. Phase 1 and phase 2, take over the mansion and handle the key.
I say, I got that one. Superman, I got to the way, celebrating Mary, making for the winning day.
When the sun comes,
Show your face, after you can show that face. I say we're taking over, CPP taking power. And then the leader thing, they still want to favor it. People got the yelling opposition, getting confusing. Hey, CPP coming with fire. Corona and retire. Just see the way we do yellow bone. There's nothing that
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, today is Sunday. The time is 6 minutes after 2 o'clock. I just been thinking, been doing some work, been putting some stuff together and getting ready for Liberia. But I want to say this, I want to say a few things. I know you're sleeping right now, but you will see the show later on. But if you only 3 person are watching, you can share the video because I'm not going to take too long of your time. Look, we reached to a place where this is very hard to see Liberians are so hateful because of politics. You all noticed today Mr. Cummings attended the funeral service of the late Nathan, and Mr. Cummings was in the place when Mr. Parker entered. Everybody spoke. The senator spoke. The president pro tem, Mr. Parker, was there. They gave him the opportunity to speak, and he spoke, but never mentioned to even sympathize with the ANC people or the CPP. He knows the thing very well, so that he's anyway that one that his problem. But to my surprise, when they called Alex coming up to say a word or two, Bwaka and his entourage walk out of the church. Listen, for me, I don't give a heck about it. I'm only talking about it today, and I'm not going to talk about it again. But to show how hateful because of politics. Because of politics, they say death sometimes brings things. You know, while other people were calling and sympathizing with us, CDC sent a Secretary General, and these guys were running around the place saying that, oh, CDC and UP and ANC, collaboration. And two, Mr. Cummings is the one that bereaved, his party bereaved. I think as a gentleman and as a statesman and an older man, the first thing you walk in, you greet people. But anyway, that is not the case. Don't let it move you. Don't let it move you. You know, they will always expose themselves. UP will always expose themselves. They can go up and come down. The Liberian people will never bring UP back to power. UP Joseph Boakai is the other version of Mr. Weah. There is no difference between Mr. Weah and Mr. Boakai. And I think Mr. Weah is more active than Mr. Boakai. Liberian people, we must reject these two parties. If you love your country, Liberia, it is time you look at the other 18 candidates to choose whoever you want to represent you against George Weah, but not the CDC, not the UP. Mr. Boakai has no vision. Mr. Boakai cannot show what he's running on for the last 12 years. And I will make you to understand this. This election, Mr. Weah is already by default into the second round. Who is more prepared amongst the candidate? The most prepared candidate to facing President Weah? That is the one we're looking for. At least Mr. Cummings never worked in the government. I agree. Mr. Cummings don't have a governmental experience. I agree. But Mr. Cummings is the most qualified man to fix the economy. Mr. Cummings is the most prepared candidate and in a healthy mind and a better state of mind to lead Liberia instead of Joseph Numa Boakai. Go and listen to Mr. Boakai's interview in Ghana. Mr. Boakai in Ghana said the UP government did well under the administration. He explained. But when Mr. Boakai is in Liberia, he blamed Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. He don't want to take any responsibility. He was parking on his own lane. He did nothing. Is that the kind of leader we're looking for that would take blame? President Weah blame Ellen Johnson for everything until today we are in a dungeon. And Mr. Boakai is still blaming Ellen Johnson for the last 12 years, getting paid with nothing doing. Can UP tell us what Mr. Boakai did for the last 12 years and what he will do better than Ellen Johnson that they cannot tell us? What he will do better than George Weah, he cannot even tell us. But when we stay here and criticize the UP, that the Liberian people should not give UP the opportunity to lead our country. They will say, oh, you're complaining about UP. That means you're so. Look, let me tell you something. We're not stupid. We are not stupid people. We are not stupid people, my Liberian people. Mr. Boakai is a wicked man. Mr. Boakai will give Prince Johnson the opportunity to kill people in Liberia. I can say today. When Mr. Johnson was supporting Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Ellen Johnson kept Mr. Johnson across the river. She kept Mr. Johnson across the river. He supported George Weah. George Weah kept him across the river. Mr. Boakai is the only brave man who said, I would rather dance with the devil to win than to go with people that will not make me win. What Mr. Boakai believe in? What Mr. Boakai believe? Yes, you want Prince Johnson to support you, but what are you bringing Prince Johnson so close and saying that this old man is too old? Jeremiah Kun will do the work. It's telling you that Mr. Boakai is so old that he has nothing to do. He won't be able to do anything. Who will do the work? Jeremiah Kun. The people of Nimba County will win. Not even Liberia, but the people of Nimba County. Nimba County will win. And the Gio people will win. Imagine Prince Johnson who killed President Doe. And today, there is no grave for President Doe. The same man who convinced President Doe and at last, he butchered Doe. Prince Johnson cannot wait to have his day to go after Liberians that will criticize Mr. Boakai, and Mr. Boakai will sit over there and say nothing. Mr. Boakai is wicked. He's a wicked man. He's a wicked man. He pretends a lot. Show us the work. You got governmental experience. Mr. Cummings said infrastructure. Mr. Bwaka says 0. Mr. Cummings said electricity. Mr. Bwaka says 0. Mr. Cummings said job creation. Mr. Bwaka said 0. Mr. Cummings said better education. Mr. Bwaka gave nothing. Mr. Cummings said government of inclusion. Mr. Bwaka said no. Tribalistic inclusion. Tell me, is that the country we want? Mr. Bwaka go and explain everything about Ellen Johnson and lied to the public. He came back and lied to the public about Bernard Ure. We cannot give Mr. Bwaka power. Giving Mr. Bwaka power is like we're taking a gun and put it to our head and shoot ourselves. Bringing Mr. Bwaka back to power, we're telling our children, you are not ready. Bringing Mr. Bwaka back to power, we're telling our people that your security is at risk. Bringing Mr. Bwaka back to power, our fathers will remain where they are today. Mr. Bwaka went to Ghana. What the benefit in Ghana? He took his son. Every time he go beg for money, he took his son with him. Mr. Bwaka is corrupt. Mr. Bwaka is corrupt. He been corrupt for the last 12 years. For the last 12 years, the entire UP/Joseph Bwaka, you guys are very, very corrupt. You guys are a serious problem. You guys have a serious problem. We will not vote you in. We will not vote you in. You will not get into that space to even give Liberian the opportunity to vote you in. We will beat you. Maybe you have not seen it right in the wall yet. You have ears, but you can't hear. You choose not to hear. You have eyes, but you choose not to see. After sitting down for 4 years, you coming back last minute of time. You think Liberian people stupid? You think we stupid? When the last time you went to West Point? When was the last time you went to Nukutan? When was the last time you went to District 17 to see the people after the election? When was the last time that you ever visited the Southeast? When was the last time you entered District 1 to talk to your Liberian people? When the last time? Just few days ago, you went to District 12 and District 11 because you won the Liberian people vote. Liberians, it is your call. If you love your country like Liberia, you must look for a better leader to face in President Weah. Because if you love Liberia, you will do the right thing. If you don't love Liberia, you will re-elect President Weah. You will re-elect President Weah. Unity Party cannot defeat President Weah. Giving Unity Party, forget about Joseph Bwaka, I want you to think. Bringing Unity Party to power, we have just created another monster. What Prince Johnson has been looking for. Prince Johnson will be the commander of the #1 death squad in Liberia. Prince Johnson is not afraid to kill. He still parades the street with his killers. But because he's not in charge, so he's very careful. Prince Johnson is not a pastor. A pastor will not tell you, I'd rather live with the devil than to wait for the angel I have not seen. Prince Johnson pretending to be a pastor after he killed Liberians. Liberians are still traumatized. Bringing Mr. Bwaka back to power, you are telling us that our voice will never be heard. We will wait for the next 17 years. Let you tell us what Mr. Bwaka will do better than what he did in the last 12 years. Liberians, you got better candidates. You got better, far better candidates. Far better candidate. Do not sit there and go back to the same place you came, Mama, you came, Papa, I will vote for you. You know book, you don't know book, I will vote for you. Today they are saying that Whether Prince Johnson killed Mr. Bwaka, we'll vote for Mr. Bwaka. Because they are prepared to slaughter us. They are prepared. They're coming with vengeance. Liberian, be careful what you wish for. You got Mr. Cummings, you got Tiawan Gonglo, you got Beslo, you got Moniba, you got a lot of good candidates. Not UP. You know the record of George we are right now. You know the record of UP. For the last 17 years, we saw these two parties destroying our economy. Today, some of them have already chosen the jobs. Mr. Bwaka continued to lie. This man don't have no remorse for law and order in Liberia. This man lie on an oath against Mr. Cummings. This man received over $20 million from our library, from government taxes, and did nothing, and still complain and blame Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. To show that this man how wicked, he said he received $2,000 from President Weah. $2,000, lousy $2,000. He received cars from President Weah. This man continued to lie to the Liberian people. Put you on the impression because only UP is working because you guys are so corrupt. You are praying to God to be the next Finabondo, the next Nathaniel Magay. But we Liberians will not allow it to happen. We will not allow it to happen. We will not bring you back to power. Even if we don't want George Weah, that you people should bring back to power after squandering. This man did nothing to tell me because he was there for 42 years in government, so he's qualified. This man barely don't think. He don't even know what he's talking. He's absent-minded. The mind is willing, but the body is weak. UP setting for Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson setting for UP. Liberians, to undecided voters, this is not about Bwaka. That word that Mr. Johnson gave is scary. It's scary, that word that Mr. Johnson gave. Mr. Johnson is a notorious killer pretending to be a pastor. The late T.B. Joshua told Johnson that it's not what I sent you to do. You are not qualified to be a pastor. You was evangelist. He convinced President Weah. President Weah became a pastor. When they do the wickedness, then they go behind the pulpit. Do you know how many Liberians parading the street today that things are not going because they killed the relatives by Prince Johnson, killed the people, and no justice? Mr. Bwaka is parading and surrounding himself with a bunch of former corrupt officials who have been indicted. But you're ready? When we don't support Mr. Bwaka, we are not patriots. Louis Brown is corrupt. Toga McIntosh is corrupt. Musa Belete corrupt. But you parading the damn street with Billboard 1, Billboard 2. You parading the street with a bunch of criminals or men who have been indicted in America. You parading with him. And then you call yourself change. Is Mr. Bwaka the change candidate? Can I even explain, go in details with his own platform that Henry Costa gave him? Talk about rescue one. What are your plans when you rescue? You say you're there, well, let me just rescue that all. Is Mr. Bwaka look like a man who can take us into the 21st century? Even in Lofa County, the young people are tired. Mr. Bwaka look like somebody that will take us into the 21st century, my people. Today there was a boy who said he support Mr. Bwaka. He said Mr. Cummings is qualified, Mr. Cummings can do all this, Mr. Cummings can change things. But in Liberia, we don't vote on that. Only stupid you people don't vote on that. And some stupid seditions. That the only people that don't vote for right. But this time around, that 35 to 40% will make the difference. These are the people who want food on the table. They want their children to go to school. They want good jobs, good paying jobs. They want security. Mr. Bwaka can tell us what he will do. He can't even tell us to say this is what I would do better than Ellen Johnson. He had an whole interview. Mr. Bwaka will give Prince Johnson the authority to get rid. Mr. Bwaka can kill Mr. Cummings. If Mr. Bwaka has his will, Mr. Cummings will lose. I'm telling you. I never see a hateful person in my life. I never knew that how hateful people are. But let me tell you, I got a news for you. You can do a damn thing. Liberia will wash it out. Some of you are like your last time. You don't even know what you believe in. You don't know what you believe in. You educated, but you depend on government jobs. The companies that you insult him, he's richer than you. His life is successful than you. You behind a man who only concerned about his family and his tribal men. And you telling us he's the change. Show us some of the change. Show us what he did that looked like a change. Show us what was the Bwaka did that looked like a change. Eh? We are worried about moving president. We know president, we are record. But we're only telling Liberian people that we shouldn't make that mistake, because if we don't tell them, they will not know. If we don't talk to them, they will not know. They shouldn't make that mistake. We love competition. Bwaka don't love competition. We are telling you that we got 18 better candidates for a real change, and you can decide. We are prepared to facing them one-on-one to tell the Liberian people who is in the better person, who's the better candidate to lead. Can popularity put food on your table? Can governmental experience put food on your table? Is there any degree or something they call governmental experience? Even if you are to make it look good, do you have a working experience? Have you ever led anything before? That's a question. That is the question you ask. You work before you any experience? Eh? What you did, your degree. Some people just got their own business, that's it. But Mr. Cummings work. We're looking for managers, someone to manage the country. Mr. Cummings proved his leadership in the CPP. Mr. Bwaka failed in the CPP. Mr. Cummings brought the CPP from nowhere. Mr. Bwaka brought it down. So who's the better leader? Mr. Cummings and Mr. Bwaka, who is the better leader? Who is the better leader? It's Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings is 10 times better than Mr. Bwaka right now. They're all going to get old. But the man who's supporting you say you so old, Mr. Kun will be running the country. Mr. Kun will run the country. And some UP people, when we win, we will take Prince Johnson down or we're arresting. And Prince Johnson setting for you to get rid of you. And guess what? Jeremiah Kun say if anything ever happened, the first executive order, all the UP people fire if you get any job. Prince Johnson, that's what he been wishing for. Prince Johnson don't want to get from politics. He still want to be in that era. And you get a puppet like Jeremiah Kun, a puppet or real puppet who cannot even make his own decision, or criminal, ate enough money from President George Weah, stole the election, and today, Mr. Boakai looking at Nimba Kante. Mr. Boakai, you will lose. You will lose, Mr. Boakai, you will lose. The men are down, fear no fall. We will not, so in fact, your chances, you follow the crowd. The optics. You people are so pathetic. Shameful. Shameful. Entitled to what? Do you think you're more Liberian than other people? You think you know why Mr. Cummings moving and you guys cannot touch him? Do you know the reason? Because Mr. Cummings don't listen, don't waste his time on people who hate him. He allowed God to fight his battle. So hateful. UP, you guys are hateful. Until I don't even want to drink water near you, because just by shaking your hands, you might kill people for nothing. A decent thing a man can do, we're only calling you out, and we give a damn about it. You can even walk. You go up, you come down, you can do whatever you want to do. You can walk out and whatsoever. When Mr. Cummings president, there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. You don't have, you got zero contact. You can't even change Liberia. You left office, UP. All the young guys in UP, you want to use Mr. Boakai to steal? You want to use Mr. Boakai to go and steal money because you see Jefferson Koji and all the other people stealing? So you want to steal more, or you stole less before? You're on the wrong path. You know, going like ugly. God don't like ugly. I will say again, even if the Liberian people don't want George Weah, that UP should bring back to power. You got all the good candidates from Mr. Cummings down that UP and CDC we should be worried about. The only thing I guess CDC for us to worry about CDC, because CDC is the ruling party. None of the other candidates will support you in the second round against George Weah for their own safety. Tier 1 Gonglo will not support UP against George Weah. He will not vote for George Weah because Tier 1 know that his life is at risk. Prince Johnson will go after him because now Prince Johnson will be sitting in a comfortable place and they will be running a dev squad. Monimba will not support you in the second round because Prince Johnson will go after oppositions. Beslow will not support you in the second round. And I will not support you in the second round for the sake of peace and for the sake of Liberia. I will not support UP. Supporting UP, I'm committing a suicide. Myself taking a gun and put it to my head. I'd rather suffer for 6 years with George Weah, who will not do nothing, than to go to UP and look at Prince Johnson and a man who sell human parts, who they call Bojo, and bring them to power. And see all the guys then who threaten people around here. Some of us will not go to Liberia if they win. The one them who threaten other present officials, and they have not even, the baby not even get eyeball yet. You're threatening people. The woman not even deliver yet. You already threaten people. You don't give a damn what the world say about you. You don't care. You don't care. Liberians. And I will tell you, when you guys do all these things, how you expect us to work together? How you expect us to work together? That's why I told Mr. Ability and the other people, you're wasting your time with UP. UP is not a party for anybody to rely on. They are all for vengeance, especially Mr. Bwaka. Guess what? Mr. Bwaka is so vicious. James Colley father and Mr. Bwaka had a situation. He hold it against James Colley and James Colley. He and this old man go after people. He went after Henry Costa and destroyed him. He looked at Ellen as a Congo woman for the last 12 years. He refused to even have a meeting with his boss. He took Ure and threw Ure off the train and put Ure on the train track. The only thing, there's no track in Liberia. Anybody threatening Joseph Bwaka's presidency, if he got it, he will kill you. That is why he got Prince Johnson, the face of the Unity Party. Prince Johnson is the face of the Unity Party. Prince Johnson is the face of the Unity Party. Let's take a quick break.
What is your problem? Then you on the radio on me. Hey, my brother, what I do? All right. You gotta change. Because you alone, your boss cannot cover the whole bed again. We're fighting for you. It calls our mama. Remember when we have the old battle the park. I would make a paper for Kalusi. Hey, boom, and we did it. We are fighting for you. We're begging you people. If you make the man disgrace, it will be good for you. We are turning to the man against our prayer for you to produce vice president. The old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, then that Kun will be doing the job for you. Can you go everywhere? No. The old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, then that Kun will be doing the job for you. Can you go everywhere? No. But I want you to be careful. We are fighting for Nimakan. Ephesians 6:8. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 8. They say, whatever good you do to anyone, it is God who pay you. Because God knows that people you do good to are the very people sometimes who can stab you. So the Lord said, I will take care of it. So for the sake of our country, this man is now this. I went through night, sleepless night. I suffered day and night for 4-5 months, making the arrangement. They put Yomi Kanga Lauren one side. She was to be the running mate to the man. And Costa there. Today, they push everybody one side and take Kun. Ephesians 6:8.
I know few days ago, I think I had a...
So I supported Joseph Bwaka, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired.
Okay.
Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him pamper. Every day I gotta buy a pamper. There's a man who bought me pamper before. I'm buying him pamper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he himself said, he said, when you win, you run for one term. He himself said it. I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest. Find some.
Mind, he should rest. The woman brain going down the drain. So I will not support him. That was an honest statement by Jeremiah Kuhn. And they saw the wicked link. They decided to go. Prince Johnson told Jeremiah Kuhn, my man, that what opportunity that woman owe, that you don't want to do the work. Don't go to that comments there. Don't go to the other person. That man will do the work. That man, I will call him. 6 months. Nimba will win. Not even Labrador, but he concerned about Nimba County. Another tribalistic man who only concerned about Gio people, but not even the man of people. Liberians, we got to do something. We got to do something. We got to do something. We play this on the radio every day. We will let the Liberian people know the truth. No, I am not sleeping. I am not sleeping. I am not sleeping. I'm up. So, this is not about Mr. Boaka. It is not about Mr. Boaka, let me tell you. This is about Liberia. Prince Johnson, or when the saying, go marching in, when he finished, he killed 2-3 Liberians. That the same Prince Johnson. That's the same Prince Yedu Johnson. Imagine Jeremiah Kuhn vice president. The man made it clear. The man said Mr. Boaka is old. He didn't say Mr. Boaka is sick. He said Mr. Boaka is old. No vice president would make such a statement. And you, the president, but because you want to win, you don't care. Nobody makes such a statement. Oh, I the one that the thing they told Mr. Cummings. The same thing they told Mr. Cummings. But Mr. Boaka ain't want Mr. Cummings. Because Mr. Boaka is so corrupt, he cannot deal with Cummings. Mr. Cummings worked too hard for his money. Mr. Boaka ain't work for his money. Mr. Boaka used taxpayer money in his money he got today. Mr. Boaka was in charge of agriculture. This man could not even sell his planes in Ghana. He went there and got 0 cents. He went to go beg for money. He went to beg for money. Or maybe he went to hospital. Liberians, we got to be careful. We got to be careful. We got to be careful. I'm not carrying to court. We got to be very careful. Electing President Weah is a problem. Presenting Mr. Boaka to President Weah, that means you re-electing President Weah. Because the you people will not win. Let's be honest with you. Even the Liberian people want, they don't want Joe Weah. They're not UP they can bring back to power. A lot of people will not vote. They will rather stay the 6 years and continue the hardship than to bring in another group of people that will suppress us. Nimba will win, yeah. You know, it's so funny. The time is coming closer. The time is coming closer where election date is not far from here. The election date is just 37 days to go. 37 days to go. We into the place now where I must tell the people what you can do and what I can do. You're a liar and you sound like a fool. My brother will never ever endorse Mr. Bwaka. My brother, he's an NPP man, and I respect him for his decision. Even if you tell me, say my brother endorse Mr. Cummings, I will tell you, say you're a liar. So maybe you feel like having a conversation. But you people, you lie so much until you don't even know how to even make a post. How will I join a train when there's no even track in Liberia? You don't even have a plan. Joseph Bwaka don't have a plan. You know, the mistake you're making, you will never campaign against Mr. Cummings because you got nothing to offer. You can never compare your plans with Mr. Cummings' plans. There is nothing. Now we got 39 days to go. 37 what? And you're refusing, you're running away from debate. You're running away from the issue to debate the issues. The real 37 days to go. 37 days. The campaign started 2 months ago. The people of Liberia saw Mr. Bwaka 3 times. 3 times on a campaign trail. It's not concerning to you. You trucking people, you carrying them from one place to another place. It's not concerning to you. That real my brother, even my brother can be sleeping, he can never endorse Joseph Bwaka. If you tell me, say my brother endorse Mr. Cummings, I will tell you, say you lying too. So you see, my brother will choose who to vote for, my brother. He will choose who to vote for, so don't worry. Don't worry, yeah? We can't carry Bwaka to court. I never told you, say Bwaka is a killer. I never told you, I said Bwaka, I consider him a killer because Prince Johnson will do the dirty work for him. Why should I carry Bwaka to court? But the woman is brave enough to sit with Mr. Bwaka. That's good. Mr. Cummings has a better agenda for Liberia. Mr. Cummings' vision for Liberia is so excellent. Mr. Cummings is the only one, you know, and I will give you the report again. Out of 20,000 Liberians, 22% say they will vote for Mr. Weah. And 20% say they will vote for Mr. Bwaka. 18% say they will vote for Mr. Cummings. That's what the poll says. 18% will vote for Mr. Cummings, 20% for Mr. Bwaka, 22% for Mr. Weah. 40% say no. They're not voting. It came to the popularity. Mr. Weah took 40%, Mr. Cummings came, Mr. Bwaka came second. He been vice president for 12 years. He's popular. 12 years. Popularity in leadership is not popularity contest. Popularity can be put food on your table. It can't do nothing for us. We try George Weah because of popularity. See what we are today. See what we are today. Until UP want to come back to power. They say people with the governmental experience who live, who stayed long in government, the guy Mr. Bwaka 50 to 10% governmental experience. Mr. Bwaka working in government for 42 years. Governmental experience is not leadership now. Good. But that same question, they say amongst the three, Mr. Weah got 22, Mr. Bwaka got 20, Mr. Cummings 18. They say among the three, who will do a better job? Mr. Cummings got 52, Mr. Bwaka got 28, Mr. Weah got 15. A lie? No. The UP people said, and today, if I got to start charity, UP said Mr. Cummings is qualified. Mr. Cummings can change the economy. Mr. Cummings can change things around. But Mr. Bwaka got 12 years of VP experience. They say, who among the three again? Now, when Mr. Bwaka went to 52, the undecided voters went down to 30. You see the difference? The undecided voters was 40. When it came to who to do a better job, the undecided voters came down to 20 and to 10. Mr. Cummings went to 52. They said again, amongst the 3 years, who has the ability to create jobs in Liberia? Mr. Cummings got 60%, Mr. Bwaka got 25%, Mr. Weah got 5%. The undecided votes went to 3. 3. Then they ask again. They say who among them who got international contact and to create employment for Liberian. Mr. Cummings got 70%. Mr. Bwaka got the same 20 that you're stuck with. Mr. Weah got 5. Undecided voters went to 3. You see that? Undecided voter went to 3. They asked another question. Who do you trust to keep your country money, resources? That's corruption. Mr. Cummings got 75%. Mr. Bwaka got 20%. Mr. Weah got 5%. Undecided voters. No, Mr. Bwaka got 15%. I just 15%. Mr. Bwaka got 15%. Mr. Weah got 5%. Imagine the people who voted for Mr. Bwaka say 20%. 18% say, 15% say, I trust that paper. Guess what? The undecided votes were 3. Mr. Cummings got 75%. They say if election go in the second round between George Weah and Mr. Bwaka, Mr. Weah got 55%, Mr. Bwaka got 35%. The rest undecided, they will not vote. Between Mr. Cummings and Mr. Bwaka, if there's a second round, Mr. Cummings got 55%, Mr. Bwaka got 30%. Undecided, people who said will not vote were 10. Between Mr. Cummings and Mr. Weah, Mr. Cummings got 57%, Mr. Weah got 35%. 6% said they would vote. They're not pulled by spoon. They not call. These people through 20. These people went through 20,000 Liberians in the 15 counties, and they asked all these questions. Shit. 20 questions and almost 15 questions they asked. So you see, every time they do the polls, we tell. We were fifth before. Then now they pull out, you can call, hello, my name is Talawian Jabate. I'm calling from Lofa County. I vote George Joseph Boaka. My name is Talawian Jabate. I call it from District 2, Monserrado County. One man called Fata. You see? So, if we don't campaign, the Liberian people will decide between CDC and UP. Because for the last 12 years, they've been seeing CDC and UP for the last 17 years. But when we start to campaign, then UP got a problem. UP say, oh, you're supposed to take the fight to Mr. Weah. No. We already know Mr. Weah record. The Liberian people all more tired. You see, Mr. Cummings is a better leader than Mr. Boaka. Mr. Boaka got governmental experience. But you see this CPP fail under his leadership. Even you say nobody want to attend, CDC and CPP fail under Mr. Boaka's leadership. Mr. Cummings gave CPP victory. Mr. Boaka ain't win one seat when he was chairman for CPP. He lost all the seats. All the seats he lost. He ain't win one. Lofa County, all over the place he lost. But this is the man with governmental experience. This is the man with governmental experience. He failed to lead CPP. That country you will lead. Like Mo Ali said, and I quote, if we cannot compete in the CPP, how can we compete nationally? Tell me. You can't compete in the CPP. You ran away from the CPP. That John Weah you will win. You broke the Liberian hope down. We all were hoping for CPP to get George Weah the first one round. Because of greed, you ran away from the CPP. Is qualified than Mr. Boaka. Mr. Cummings is well grounded and prepared than Mr. Boaka. That is why Prince Johnson is saying that the old man is old. Prince Johnson is saying that the old man is too old. Jeremiah Kuhn will do the work. But the Liberian people, people didn't say that true. You understand? So, only Mr. Cummings who stand for unity, only Mr. Cummings that can bring us back together, will not divide us. Mr. Cummings will not divide us. That is why today only Mr. Cummings has spoken to the Liberian people and make us to understand who we are, the kind of people we are. We are one people. From Lofa to Magibi, all around, we are one people. That is why Mr. Cummings gave this speech and continue to encourage Liberians. Mr. Cummings look at you as a Liberian, not as a county person or tribal person. That is why Mr. Cummings gave this speech. And I want you to listen to it. You're not many, yet 10. You can close your other ears, but you will still hear it. So listen to Mr. Cummings.
My fellow Liberians, despite our diversity, we are a united people, a great and noble people. Through the strength of our unity and the resilience of our determination, we have begun to rebuild a ravished country and have survived 2 deadly health crises. Our people have stood together as one united people, ready to face the future. Whether you are a fisherman of Grand Cru and Sino, the hunters of Grand Jide and River G, the farmers of Lofa and Bapolu, the Gola and Vai dancers of Bumi and Cape Mount, the hospitable people of Bassa and River Cess, the warriors of Maryland, the miners and explorers of Nimba, the merchants and traders of Bong, the welcoming people of Magibi, or the melting pot of Montserrado. We are one people, Liberians. We have a great challenge and opportunity ahead of us. In unity, we will rebuild this country as a shining example in Africa, demonstrating the power of a determined and united people. Our economy and our national budget will expand and grow like never before. We will improve the lives of our people and put smiles on the faces of our citizens. I promise you that together we can and will do the job. A new day is on the horizon. The time for babysitting is over. God bless you and God bless Liberia.
Promise you, together, we will move Liberia, we'll do a better job. The time for babysitting is over. The president says it's a serious business. It's not for jokes. The president of Liberia is a serious business. It's not for sleepers. It's not for people who just sleep whenever they feel like sleeping. No. The president says it's serious.
President Weah was elected. President Weah was elected on a mandate to restore hope and change for Liberians. For many Liberians, especially the youth, he represented the possibility of a brighter future. Unfortunately, these last 5 years have seen a rapid decline in almost all aspects of national life.
Yeah, it's about King Kwadi Boss Poor, a part of a chairman.
Le country is far. 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 I come here with busy. Le country is far. I come here with busy. Le country is far. I come here with busy. Le country is far. I come here with busy. Le country is far. I come here with busy. Le country is far. I come here with busy. Le country is far. I come here with busy. Le country is far. I come here with busy. Change your soul, burn and change your soul. Change your soul, burn and change your soul. Opa change their soul, Paso change their soul, Nima change their soul, Reku change their soul. Change your soul, burn and change your soul. Change your soul, burn and change your soul. Nima change their soul, Opa change their soul, Paso change their soul,
The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this.
May I tell you, bro, the honorable Messia, Alessandra people, man, the son of Mary. I can see my home at the end of la basu. What if I bet in la baina coast? Blue people waiting, just to welcome you. About people second way, just to take you. We're gonna call away, not about Barroco. Oh, welcome, come here, welcome.
The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. We work on you, mess, we work on you. We work on you, mess, we work on you. Our people work on you. People work on you. Our people work on you. Our people work on you. We work on you, mess, we work on you. We work on you, mess, we work on you. And then we work on you. Raya work on you. William work on you. If I work on you. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. The country is far, I come here with this. Yeah. Tembo Nivea. Yeah, man. Anthony Agwelen. Écoute the bail. Fuck now. FIW. Never deep money. I see you, baby. Lieutenant General. If you sell it all day.
Regret not having Mr. Cummings attend the program today. I apologize for that. Well, let me say this from what I know. The document that was signed on May 19, 2020, the document that was given by the lawyers and the one that was presented to the NEC. First, it is an agreed fact that the document that was signed on May 19, 2020 was not the document that was presented to the NDC, truly because
Stab 'em. It's not coming, stab 'em. Stab 'em. Keep on the explode. The ones I trust so much, they made a fool out of me. Pray to God.
Cannot keep doing the same things and expect different results. We cannot keep electing and selecting the same kinds of leaders and electing new leaders who know how we call that the what's. And then there are 5 things we call the how we'll do it. And those priorities are as follows. Our first priority is as a people in this transformation process. And so we're doing some work on how care workers, people who actually do the work. We need to pay them more money and reduce the gap between those at the top and those who actually get the funds required to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure.
Okay, guys. My computer freezing up.
Bati, Alexandra Cummings, Bati. Zekwe, CPP, Zekwe, Charlene Broski, Zekwe. I want, Za. Party, see party, party house. Stand up, brother, see, stand up, brother, stand up, brother. Well. Who you want? My Liberian people, who you want? Our market women crying, who you want? Our Yana boys are crying, who you want? Zoba. Handkerchief. Take out your white handkerchief. Let's go, everybody, sing on fire. Look back at the say that coming where we want. But me can't come in where we want. Very like they coming where we want. Nima can't come in where we want. Basa can't that coming where we want. Kema can't that coming where we want. Papa we I say that coming where we want. Regina can't that coming where we want. Musa Belete I say who you want. Mama Teresa coming who you want. Well, bravo. Adame.
The 2023 presidential and general elections are just ahead, and Liberians will go to the polls on October 10th to vote and choose new leaders to govern the nation. And one name that stands out among the rest is Alexander Benedict Cummings, an astute statesman of national and international integrity, national standard bearer and first partisan of the collaborating political parties, CPP. Vote Alexander Benedict Cummings and Councillor Charlie Bromskin, President and Vice President for a better Liberia, for massive and decent paid jobs, with equal access to jobs and opportunities, irrespective of your political, social, or ethnic background. Vote Cummings and Bromskin for a better economy, where the nation's wealth will be fairly distributed for the benefit of all. For a genuine enforcement and implementation of a sound Liberianization policy that sets aside certain businesses exclusively for Liberians. Vote Cummings and Bromskin for improved and better health care, better quality education, and better care for retired and old people. Vote Cummings and Bromskin for support through loans to farmers for increase in food production for the nation. Vote Cummings.
sickness, you catching fever. Getting serious like empty river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we're sweeping, we're cutting, we're moving all the way. Yeah, yeah. We coming, yeah. We're gonna be coming. As we coming, we're sweeping, we coming. Anywhere we meet up, speak. We're gonna be coming. Yeah, we're coming, yeah. We coming.